Kalatas ng mga pahat. Tahanan ng kaalaman. How did you recover from this devastating experience? Where did you get the courage?
Sobrang hirap na pinagdaanan namin nung bumagyo dito. Nasira ang mga pananim.
Kahit naapektuhan na yung mental health ko, tinutuloy ko pa rin magtrabaho bilang call center agent. Dahil dito, kumukuha ng pangkabuhayan ng pamilya ko.
Kamustaself. Successful advocacy start from within. Hello. Time check, it is now 7:03 in a Friday morning, 25th of November. To all of our listeners, mga ka-self, may I ask, where are you located now? Are you hearing this from a jeepney ride? Or are you currently watching from our live stream on YouTube? Or at the comfort of your home? Or from your office table since you timed in early today? Wow, big clap for you. Now may I ask, are you using toilet paper? You may be sitting in a comfort room about to get that long sheet of toilet paper, or is just planning to go to the comfort room with that big, bulky toilet papers. But you might want to hold that thought. Why? Because 27,000 trees are cut down each day just to produce toilet paper. O diba, nakakakonsensya na hawak mo yung toilet paper at 27,000 trees para lang itapon. Pero papaano, Janice? How do we really love Earth? What is sustainability? And how does loving the Earth affect our society? Stay tuned for our special guest. We'll answer all of this in just a little while. But first, to start our day with an inspirational song, here is an environmental jingle entitled Tayo ang Kalikasan, shared with us with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. This is Janice Belen, and you are tuned in to Kamustaself. Let us listen to this together dahil ikaw, ako, tayo ang kalikasan. Such a positive message, a great beat, and a relevant story for every one of us listening today at this show. This song and the video for our live stream audience can really give us that feeling of responsibility to do our part and sustainability within our reach. It is now 7:09 and sobrang inspired na tayo for today, mga self. Now, as you know, for the past few weeks on Radyo Pag-asa 20.6 station, Kamustaself program, we have been doing this segment called Kamustaself, which is also named as the title of our show. We have been asking our avid listeners, how are they currently doing with their lives? Have you assessed yourself today? Have you done something to contribute to the protection of the environment? Kamusta ka? Kamustaself? Keep our lines busy by answering the question and sharing your stories here at Radyo Pag-asa 20.6. Ikwento mo na yan! Call the numbers 206-202 for our live stream audience. Our numbers will flash through your screen. Again, that is 02-206-202. What are you doing for today? You can also tweet us at Kamustaself, all small caps. Write your answer with the hashtag Kamustaself. We want to hear from you today. Ito na ang ating most important part of the day. I am super excited to have all of you here listening to our show, as I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have. We have a very special guest who will be sharing with us his deep thoughts and stories that can really tell us what sustainability within me really means. A man of action. A man who is also proud of how picturesque Occidental Mindoro is, and especially how they implement environmental protection in one of the most scenic landscapes in the Philippines. Being an environmental warrior for years, he certainly knows when to love Earth. Let us not waste our time. Let us welcome our prestigious guest, the Provincial Environmental Natural Resources Officer of Occidental Mindoro, PENRO Ernesto Tañada. A round of applause, please. Good morning, PENRO. Welcome to our show, Kamustaself. Successful advocacy start from within. Thank you for accepting our invitation for this interview.
Good morning, Janice. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Thank you din po for accommodating our request. To start off our interview, personally, I am interested in how environmental agencies or institutions manage to take care of our environment. When looking at it, it seems a really difficult task to manage these protected areas, as we have a vast number of protected areas in the country. May we ask for your opinion on solid waste management, and why should people care about it?
We are experiencing the consequences of our actions. The world has accumulated, as per World Bank, 2.24 billion tons of solid waste, amounting to probably about 0.79 kilograms per person per day. So, solid waste management requires a whole of nation approach to manage, not just the few who actually care for the environment. So it's not just for the government or the NGOs, it's everybody's responsibility.
That hits hard, responsibility from the word itself. Napakalaking tungkulin. And speaking of tungkulin, we should be the first in line, because we are the ones who receive the benefit of the earth. By living in it, we should be the ones to take care of it.
Yes, correct. According to World Bank, the rapid population growth and urbanization of human centers. So with that, the annual waste generation is expected to increase by at least 73% from 2020 levels, and that is of course pandemic levels, to about 3.8 billion tons in 2050. We are actually the ones in the urban areas who contribute a lot to solid waste, and therefore of course the responsibility rests. That is the reason why we established task forces composed of various stakeholders, like LGUs, schools, NGOs, other private groups, and individuals in conserving and managing the environment and natural resources. These activities are geared towards strengthening our partnerships with them. There's also an existing program called Tayong Kalikasan, which partners with stakeholders to solicit active involvement of the public in activities relating to protecting the environment, and with that, solid waste management. We have several initiatives and community engagement that we have executed, despite the pandemic, despite COVID-19 raging all over the world, not just in our country. Uh, these projects, of course, continued because, well, solid waste management never really stops. So we have some of them in our province here in Occidental Mindoro.
Sir, for our listeners and for the interest of other people, how does this project involve the development of society?
So, Regional Executive Director signed a memorandum of agreement with partnered stakeholders to strengthen the cooperation among institutions involved, which resulted in better coordinated delivery of projects, and especially the LGUs and the right to resources, as well as to respond with prevailing environmental issues through joint enforcement and implementation of you call this program for environment and natural resources for restorations, rehabilitations, and development. So, ito pakita ko na lang siguro. I'm going to share this environmental video regarding this project. So, everyone will be able to understand our objectives, where we are coming from, and we also encourage, hopefully, people to join the program and join us in protecting the environment.
Thank you, Po, for that very informative insight. Now, before we go to the second part of this interview, let us watch this video for everyone in the live stream and listen to this while you are on the road. This is Janice Belen, and you are listening to Radio Pag-asa 20.6.
Our country is blessed with rich natural resources, but sadly, we have repeatedly squandered these gifts. We are destroying nature's fragile treasures over time, but there is still a glimmer of hope. In this series, we take a look at various protected areas throughout the archipelago to learn the stories of the land, how it was once neglected and abused, and how it is slowly being renewed. This is Lauren Legarda, and I present our fragile earth, protected areas of the Philippines. The Apo Reef Natural Park, a 34 square kilometer sub-triangular atoll-like reef off the coast of Sablayan, Occidental Mindoro. A small dot amid the vast, deep blue of Mindoro Strait. Beneath the powdery white sand and karst mountain is the second largest contiguous coral reef in the world. Its expansive reef system is a magnet for marine life. It is one of the most remarkable dive sites in the country, revealing a well-diverse marine population, from small vibrant sea creatures to schools of huge fish lurking around its colorful coral gardens. The Apo Reef Natural Park is separated by two lagoon systems, which are bounded by narrow reef platforms. Geographically submerged, Apo Reef is marked by three islands: Apo Menor, Cayos del Bajo, and Apo Island. The largest among the three is a picturesque Apo Island, a 22-hectare land with mangroves and beach vegetation that serve as vital nursery and spawning ground for juvenile fish, as well as a sanctuary for stingrays, jellyfish, and other marine organisms. Meanwhile, its pinkish-white beaches serve as nesting area for the endangered green and hawksbill turtle.
Madalas na nakikita natin sa ibang mga protected areas o hindi man protected area, patches lamang yung coral reef nila. Pero ang Apo Reef Natural Park, tuloy-tuloy po yung contiguous po yung reef niya at napakaluwang niya.
Bali, ang Apo Reef po kasi ay nagsisilbing kanlungan ng mga samot-saring buhay na matatagpuan sa ating katubigan.
Due to man's willful exploits, then President Ferdinand Marcos declared the Apo Reef a marine park in 1980. Subsequently, in 1996, former President Fidel Ramos declared the entire reef as a protected natural park, imposing a no-take zone policy.
Nung mag-declare na protected area yan, nagkaroon ng paghihigpit, kaya nawalan ng hanap buhay yung iba. Kaya binigyan naman ng hanap buhay ng ating gobyerno, ng local government, at binigyan sila ng tinatawag natin payaw, yung pangisdaan sa labas ng protected area na hindi naman bawal.
Taking charge of protecting Apo Reef is a multi-stakeholder group called Task Force Marlin, organized to undertake law enforcement. Through the continuous coordination with DENR Apo Reef Natural Park Protected Area Office, the local government of Sablayan, the Philippine Army, the Philippine Coast Guard, and the Bantay Dagat personnel, the task force ensures the protection of the Apo Reef on a regular weekly shifting. The success of Task Force Marlin in protecting Apo Reef Natural Park became a milestone in marine and wildlife conservation. Currently, Apo Reef Natural Park is being considered to be one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. But the challenges of conserving and protecting the marine habitat still remain. Encroachment and poaching in the no-take zone of organized groups armed with highly sophisticated equipment poses threats not only to the harmony of the natural park but also to the lives of its guardians.
Ang Apo Reef Natural Park po sa ngayon ay pinakaharap na problema ang illegal fishing o illegal na pangingisda dito dahil ang Apo Reef Natural Park po ay isang no-take zone area. Kaya bawal po ang pangingisda dito.
Ang encounter namin dito na madalas yung mga mangingisda na mga pasaway, sir. Yung mga bawal na mga dapat gamitin, sir, ay ginagamit nila. Halimbawa yung mga dynamite, sir.
Sa amin, unang-una, pag may nahuhuli kami, yung ganda sa buhay namin. Kasi yung mga nahuhuli namin, kalimitan, malapit lang din sa amin.
Today, Apo Reef Natural Park is open for tourists, with Apo Island having a carrying capacity of 150 people. Through responsible ecological tourism, the stakeholders are now able to generate funds to strengthen the protection of the reef system, as well as provide alternative livelihood for displaced local fisher folks affected by the no-take zone policy.
Ang DNR po, pamamagitan ng DNR, ating pong gobyerno ay nagpapahatid ng tulong sa komunidad sa pamamagitan po ng pagpapakilala ng ating ekoturismo. Na sa pamamagitan po nito, tayo po ay naghihikayat ng mga bisita na pumunta din sa lugar na ito para makita at gayon po sa pamamagitan po noon sa pagdating ng mga bisita, ang ating po mga local na komunidad ay nakikinabang sa pamamagitan po ng tatagating sila yung nagiging service providers.
Truly, Apo Reef Natural Park is a great getaway for divers and tourists. While its beauty mesmerizes us, let us keep in mind the importance of conserving the wonders of our natural resources. When all stakeholders work together, we can continue to strengthen conservation and protection efforts in Apo Reef and replicate these good practices to other jewels of our land.
Kamustaself. Successful advocacy start from within. Let us not keep her waiting. Our caller for the day, Fatty of Bulacan. You know the drill, Fatty. Kamusta ka? Kamusta ang iyong self? Successful advocacy start from within. Ano ang mga nagawa mo para sa kalikasan? Paano mo siya minamahal? Ayan. Hello, Patty, are you on the line?
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Hi, Fatty! Where are you calling us from, Fatty?
I'm from Bulacan.
Bulacan. Nagpunta na kami dati dyan sa Angat Watershed Forest Reserve. But Fatty, can you tell us ano ang delicacies at ano ang mga special sa Bulacan?
Ang sikat sa area namin ay mga kakanin, chicharon, and hindi siya delicacies, pero paputok. Famous din.
So, ready na pala kayo for New Year's Eve, ano? Can you also tell us anong mga pinagkakabalhan mo sa buhay ngayon, Fatty?
Currently, I'm focused on a business. I'm a businesswoman.
Businesswoman! From the word busy itself, nakaka-proud naman na nabigyan mo kami ng oras. First time mo bang tumawag dito sa aming programa?
Actually, I've been an avid listener for a long time, pero yun nga, medyo busy. Kaya lang, very interested ako sa topic for today. And it's very close to my heart, so I decided na isugal. And ayun, nakapasok ako today.
Ang sarap naman sa pakiramdam na marinig yan, Fatty. Thank you. And from the bottom of our hearts, our team really appreciates kung nararamdaman ng mga listeners namin kung ano yung mga gusto naming iparating sa kanila. Bilang isang businesswoman, anong mga little steps na masasabi mong naging parte ng pagmamahal mo para sa kalikasan?
From the usual na ginagawa ng ibang tao, pagdadala ng reusable bags whenever we go to groceries, then reusable water bottles, kahit sa tingin natin na maliit lang yung mga bagay na yan. Every little thing that we do ay may consequence and may impact in the long run, and I believe in that. Kaya kahit yun sa pagbili namin ng groceries, sa laundry powder, fabric conditioner, shampoos, I prefer to buy bigger sized bottles. Although, of course, that's coming from a place of privilege. Pero since I have the means, I try to do that as bilang tulong na rin sa environment so I can just refill. Then, pag uwi naman sa bahay, we segregate our waste para less sa landfills. So, yung mga biodegradable, kinocompose namin. Then, yung hindi na talaga makakompose, yun na lang yung tinatapon namin. Then, as a woman, I shifted from sanitary napkins to menstrual cup. Though, at first, very intimidating siya. But I did my research and I've been using it for around 3 to 4 years naman na. And I have a very positive experience about it.
Mas komportable ba ang menstrual cups than ordinary sanitary napkins?
Compared to sanitary napkins, mas nakakamove ako freely ngayon. Dati, kapag nag-yoga, nahihirapan ako sa sanitary napkin since sobrang prone niya sa tagos. Pero with menstrual cup, once nasa loob na siya, hindi mo na siya ma-feel at all. Ganon din sa pagtulog.
Thank you for sharing that information. I'm sure marami din sa ating mga listeners ang may bagong natutunan for today. Wow, nakaka-amaze naman lahat ng sinabi mong efforts. Kayo ba na-amaze? Ako kasi amazed ako dun. Kasi in our own little ways, we become an ambassador in the protection and conservation of the environment. And from simple things like planting in our own backyard or participating in environmental activities of the community, practicing solid waste management at home, like what Fatty said, and separating our waste appropriately by practicing it every day through self-discipline and perseverance. Nagiging malaking bahagi o nagiging malaki ang epekto ng mga maliliit na steps na ito. Ayun, thank you Fatty for sharing your amazing contributions to the environment and to the society. So sana lahat tayo ay inspired and hopefully meron din tayong gagawing same or even greater than what Fatty said. Once again, thank you, Fatty. I hope you take care of yourself as much as you take care of the environment.
Thank you for listening to my story. Bye!
Okay, moving on to the second part of our interview, social mobilization and sustainability. Good morning, PENRO. Can you tell us more about sustainability and what should we know about it?
Sustainability remains a challenge in developing countries, not just us, which is why solid waste management is really vital to implement on all levels of governments and on all levels of society. So that's the reason why, as a start, we have materials recovery facilities in our municipalities in order for at least some of the waste are recyclable to not go to landfills. And since everybody essentially consume products every day like toiletries, your uh, food packaging, the things that make our lives more convenient, especially in food packaging. We need to find ways to dispose of these. So there are a lot of ways, to recycle, like reusing packaging as much as possible, and getting our eco bags or similar multi-use packaging. Bring your own Tupperware of sort to as much as possible avoid single-use plastics. So also can attend information, education, and communication activities to learn more about recycling, separating trash, especially identifying what plastics can be recycled and what plastics are not recyclable, how to reuse products, and generally just limit the waste that we produce every day. Of course, there are the organic and decomposable replacements you can learn from our IECs.
Thank you po for that very insightful comments. To end this very very overwhelming, very informative and very educational interview, what can you advise our listeners to encourage them in this social advocacy?
So operating these environmental projects kasi requires integrated systems that are efficient, sustainable, and socially supported. Especially going down to the grassroots with LGUs and barangays, you really need to not just push your agenda. You need to acclimatize to the situation of the locals. So with all of the natural disasters, destructions brought about by man-made disasters, especially that once caused by deforestation, erosions, to the images of the massive logs coming down through rivers, destroying communities, essentially demolishing houses along the way. So we should focus on individual and collective action. So para mas maganda yung impact natin. So we have to appreciate there's only really one Earth that we can live in, and I think that we don't have much time, and like asking replacement like going to Mars and terraforming it's just a far-fetched idea for now because we're running out of time. So specifically with climate change going at its rate, we might be not just sweating through summer months, the possibility of sweating through the colder months. So there's that.
Thank you po for those words of environmental wisdom. Sobrang dami po naming natutunan today. Thank you, PENRO Ernesto Tañada, for your time and very inspiring messages. We hope to speak with you again. Ayun, so through this episode, we have learned that there are still a lot of people who prefers to use reusable materials and make time to inform themselves of the right things to do, especially on recycling and waste management. Kasi ang reason natin kadalasan when we utilize single-use plastics, that they are more comfortable. Pero kagaya ng sinabi ng ating Kamustaself caller, mas komportableng gamitin yung mga bagay na ito and they are well knowledgeable of the effects of the trash we throw in the world. So as per PENRO Tañada says, there are a lot of ways to recycle. Solid waste management never really stops. It is an individual and collective action. If we contribute a lot in generating tons of waste in the world, we should be the first in line to take responsibility of our actions. Mahalin natin ang kalikasan kagaya ng pagmamahal natin sa iba at lalong-lalo na sa mga sarili natin. Inspired na ba kayo mga ka-self?
Now, have you ever heard of people asking you, "Tara, usap tayo. Tara, kape." Coffee has always been associated as a means of talking over things, laying your heart out, baring your soul to the person in front of you, or sometimes just letting yourself roam into the vast ocean of thoughts, alone. Sipping coffee in the late afternoon, or in the early hours of sunrise, you look far away and just think to yourself, how have I been doing in my life? Rate yourself. Have I been segregating my waste correctly? Have I been producing so much trash per day? Have I ever shown Mother Earth my appreciation for her today by doing little acts of protection and conservation that will help her feel our ultimate love for her?
Thank you for tuning in to our program. And as the program ends, I hope something important is left to this Friday morning.
This is Janice Belen, and always remember to ask yourself every day, Kamustaself? Do not forget to watch and listen to our show next week as we talk about mental health and how it slowly heals. If you are excited for that, like, share, and tweet the live stream of our show. This has been Janice Belen, and we are signing off, mga ka-self.